Okay, close your eyes. We're going to open up the circle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so taking some deep breaths in and out, really coming into center, centering yourself in that big, beautiful heart. And for the next sort of 75 minutes or so, this is all about you and your connection to source. So in the sacred space of love and light, we gather our aligning energies with the divine forces that guide us towards prosperity and truth. As we embark on this journey of manifestation, we call upon the presence of our spiritual guides of 100% love and light. First of all, we're going to call in Archangel Uriel, the beacon of truth and divine wisdom. We welcome your radiant presence. Please illuminate our path, allowing us to discern the unfiltered truth within ourselves and our endeavors. Please grant us the courage to embrace the reality of our situations and make decisions rooted in divine clarity. With your light, we navigate the path to liberation, and we thank you for your guidance. Archangel Metatron, the empowering force of ascension, we invoke your transformative energy as we collaborate with you. May the magic of empowerment and divine abilities flow through us. Please assist us in releasing what no longer serves us across all realms, guiding us towards personal liberation and a profound connection with our divine selves. We embrace your healing qualities, and we are grateful for the profound experience of ascension you bring. Archangel Ariel, the protector of Mother Earth, we call upon your nurturing presence. Be our source of strength and empowerment as we connect with the beauty of the natural world. Help us appreciate the wisdom found in the four elements, and may your fierce and protective nature guide us in understanding your role as integral parts of the divine universe. We honor your commitment to healing and your connection to Mother Nature. In the realm of blue-green energy and 5D consciousness, we open ourselves to instant manifestations. We align with the laws of mercy, grace, and compassion, allowing these divine qualities to flow through us and our creations. As we step into this space of co-creation, we recognize and connect with the truth of deserving. We release any illusions that hinder our understanding of our worthiness. May the energy of spring surround us, bring forth the freshness of new beginnings and the blossoming of our deserving hearts. With gratitude, open hearts, we welcome the magic of Unleashing Prosperity 2.0, guided by our spiritual allies and the divine energy that flows through all of creation. Thank you is done, it's done, it's done. And so it is. Okay, when you're ready, take some deep breaths. Ooh, and open your eyes. Ooh, feel that energy. Okie dokie. Just write in the chat for me. Does everyone know what collective consciousness is? Now, if you're Theta Healer, you should know. Hopefully. Hopefully. Okay. Yes. Good, Cara. Yes. Okay. Aaron's got a yes. Okay, cool. So collective consciousness, I'm actually reading my notes. So my notes are already in the portal. I was a superstar over these last few days. And what you'll find in the portal under live call 7 is that I've written about the collective consciousness. So I'm not going to read out absolutely everything. And what I felt called to do is I've already put the healing that we're going to do today. I've actually just recorded the healing and I've placed it with music, so you can go back and listen to this at any time if you feel that you need to disconnect from the collective consciousness and the archetypes. So it's in there. Okay, so we'll do it today, but you've also got the recording as well, and it's quite nice to have the recording with music, I think, as well. So collective consciousness often involves the idea that individuals' thoughts, emotions, and energies can impact a larger group or even an entire human collective. This perspective draws from various spiritual and metaphysical traditions. And some of the key points related to the collective consciousness is interconnectedness. So the thing is, we're all souls living a human experience, and some of us really love connectiveness. Okay, and that really showed up a lot around COVID, especially in Melbourne, because we were locked in for so long. So it really did affect a lot of people in a bad way. Some people really loved it, some people really hated it. And because we're here to have a human experience, and humans want the energy of love and togetherness, what we can do is that we can take on other people's belief systems to feel connected. And you'll see this a lot when you're in groups. So I really understood collective consciousness when I moved from the UK to Australia, right? And I didn't understand what collective consciousness is, but I experienced the detachment and the reattachment. So what I found was leaving the UK and then coming out to Australia, I moved on to an estate where the women went out and did a lot of drinking, right? We went on wine tours, we did this, we did that. We had a great time, yeah. But it was interesting because what I believed in, or what I felt, I thought, and what my values were was starting to change and shift. And I felt like I was becoming more aligned with these women and not people of my past in the UK. It was quite a weird, strange experience. Absolutely. So that was where I sort of really, really understood sort of different collective consciousnesses, and also moving even just from like one estate into another village and stuff like that. I felt the shift and the change, and also coming now from like Melbourne up into Queensland, there's a different collective consciousness, a different energy around that. You see it a lot in schools. So and also kids, because they want to feel very together and very safe, they will take on their friends' beliefs, thoughts, and emotions. And I noticed this when I was a young kid, right, at school, when I went to a friend's house for dinner after school, like tea after school. And I remember going to this girl's house, and there was a few of us there, and this girl she was from America, actually, and her mum was making like sandwiches, and she said, "Oh, peanut butter and jelly," and I was like, "Oh, I'll have ham or cheese," typical English. And she was tucking into that, and this other little girl was like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't like that." And then afterwards she said, "Oh, I'll try that," because she obviously wanted to be really close to this little girlfriend. And then she started eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I was still like, "Yeah, no, doesn't sound." I don't even think I've ever had one, to be honest. But it was quite interesting. So when I learned about collective consciousness, I just remembered all this stuff, and I was like, "Gosh, that's fascinating." So, we can take on other people's beliefs. You can do it within your family. You can do it within the workplace, schools, environment. You can even do it when you go on holiday. Yes, because you're visiting other countries. So when you're visiting other countries, I like to say it's like you're getting coded. So sometimes, being coded is a good thing, yeah. But also being coded can be a negative thing. So, LA has a very strong collective consciousness around, being a size like 0, boobs, and the lashes and the nails. They start to look, you can see it in a lot of women, that because they want to fit in, they can start taking on the look of a certain collective consciousness as well, which is really fascinating and quite interesting. Yeah, and I think the collective consciousness is really strong in America. So when I've like visited different parts, there's I don't know if there's a lot of insecurity out in America. This feeling of like not being like good enough, that you can see these pockets of like collective consciousness coming up. So have a think about going back over your life. Where have you been where you've tied in to different people's belief systems and stuff like that? Because it's always good to reflect. So for me, you know, it was like when I grew up, I actually went to a private all-girls school. Then I went to a public, like, state school. So, you know, once again, my collective consciousness changed around that. And that can actually, you know, have a think about that around, you know, like your money and your finances. Also, I feel like somebody, whether it's here or on the replay, have a look at your collective consciousness around health. Someone, like whoever your guide is coming for and saying, this is going to have a big effect on your health. You need to, this is going to be a bit of a woo, interesting. Absolutely. Yeah. So look at that one as well. So we have interconnectedness, and also what collective consciousness is an energetic field. Okay, so as I've seen it, I do a lot of this releasing collective consciousness around women in their menopause. So how I see it is, it's like a big bubble, like a cloud. Imagine a big, like, Care Bear cloud. Okay, and you see all these people with like cords, big cords that are plugged into these clouds. That's how I visualize it in a healing. It's probably the easiest thing. And obviously, I know I've got healers in the group. So whenever you see that, you know you've got people plugged into collective consciousness. So they're plugged into like this big Care Bear cloud. And what I have to do with a lot of women that are struggling with their menopause is I have to unplug them from that negative menopause cloud and plug them into the positive menopause cloud. And it was, you know, if I use menopause as an example, it's like the negative ones are like loss of libido, weight gain, tired, hot flushes, not sleep, you know, all the shit that goes with it, basically. So especially when you hear people start talking about that and you want to be like, no, 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 because even people just talking about it can actually change your belief systems as well. So you've got to be really discernment on blah, 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 blah. So for instance, for like money, you've got to be really like fingers in the ears when people start talking about the economy. There's no money around. People aren't paying for, you know, sessions. You know, mortgage rates going up and it's crippling and blah, 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 cancel, edit, delete. Okay. You really want to like not plug yourself into that. Okay. Because that collective consciousness, like negative collective consciousness, is very 3D programming. Okay. You want to be plugging yourself into the 5D. Or you want to be saying to yourself, there is more than enough money to go round. People are paying, you know, paying for high ticket prices, you know, especially what happened in COVID is, you know, the doom and gloom came first, didn't it? Oh, you know, this and this. But actually, in the US and in Australia, I don't know the statistics, but there was more millionaires coming out of COVID, self-made millionaires coming out of COVID than ever before. Yeah, because people were stepping into, it was unlocking a lot of people with their personal power. So they were coming out of their circumstantial power and into their personal power. So that's, once again, they're unlocking from that collective Care Bear bubble of this is going to be shit into I'm going to pivot and I'm going to lock myself into the thing. So that's why reading books like the One Thing, you know, the Big Leap, the one I've literally just finished and I have absolutely loved it, is Mentor to Millions. I found that really, really positive and inspiring. So I could feel myself like locking into that as well. That is around business, but it's a really inspiring book. I've absolutely loved it, and it's written by the guy Kevin Harrington, that was one of the original founders in the US for Shark Tank. Yeah, and how he's made pivots and how he's tried. The guy that narrates it is his partner, I want to say like his partner in crime, but he talks about his children and how he's oh, I've got tingles, how he's, oh, it's lovely, how he's, and that's what made me cry, was how he mentored his children in the same way that Kevin Harrington mentored him. And it's beautiful about his daughter Grace and how how she pivoted and did a charity and helped all these children out in Africa and stuff like that. I was crying. I was literally crying through this book. It was beautiful. So, you know, you want to be plugging yourself into those like podcasts. You want to be plugging yourself into, you know, the great mentoring books, you know, even on Netflix, be watching. There's a great documentary with Tony Robbins, you know, all of that type of thing. That's what you want to be plugging yourself into, not plugging yourself into like the news and, you know, toxic media and all of that type of stuff as well. And it was interesting because on the retreat last week, what the chef said something about something that was going on in the world. He looked at me because I went, oh yeah, and Lee looked at me because Lee knows I don't watch anything with the news because I'm an empath and a sensitive. I don't want to be plugged into that. I could easily get plugged into that. And Lee said to me afterwards, yeah, she said, I couldn't look at you. And I was like, yeah, I know it's going on, but I choose not to plug into it because it would really mess with me. So I'm very careful where I plug myself into. Absolutely. Yeah, it was quite funny. And if there's anything really important that I need to know, I know Andrew will always tell me. So he's like my filter. That's how we've got our relationship set up, because it doesn't affect him. But it affects me. So yeah, everything has an energetic field. So, you know, tune into yourself and really like go through and have a look at awareness of where do you think you're plugged in, especially this person with health and well-being, you know. So like menopause is a really good one. Money and wealth obviously is another good one to look at. And that's why we say, you know, make sure who you're hanging out with is positive and uplifting. You know, that's why, you know, the coaching industry is so great, because coaches hold that resonance for you, that belief that you can do it, right? So that's a collective consciousness. So you've got your coach holding space for you, or your healer, or your naturopath, whoever, right? Your assistant, whatever it is holding that space of belief in you, and you're plugging into that. And when you've got more than one energy that has that belief, that positive belief, it becomes more powerful. Okay, like that. So yeah, that's how energetic fields work. Is there any questions with what I've said? Does anyone want to add anything that they know around collective consciousness? No, because I'm always up for sharing wisdom. No? Yes? No? Oh, oh, okay. All right. So we're going to do some clearing around beautiful healing around collective consciousness. But what we're going to do is there's going to be collective consciousness around archetypes. So does everybody know what an archetype is? I love archetypes. I love working on archetypes. I knew about archetypes back in my hairdressing days, right? I met a woman that was a trainer when I was very, very young. And she used to design, it was really random. She used to design people's haircuts on the clients' shoes that came in. Yeah, really random. So I was like, how does that work? I was probably about 17 at the time. And I was like, why do you design a haircut around people's shoes? She said, because I can tell you by the look of their shoes what sort of haircut is going to suit them. And what she was talking about was archetypes. So she said, you know, if they had great big clod hoppers, and you know, she said they'd be very masculine. She said I could just tell a lot of people about their shoes. And I thought, God, that's fascinating. And then as time went on and I learned more, and then when I worked for L'Oreal, we went a lot on archetypes around there. So, you know, certain archetypes, and in personal styling as well, we learned around archetypes. So it's about your personality. And Denise DT talks a lot around sacred money archetypes in one of her money programs. That sacred money archetypes is by Kendall Summerhawk. Okay, it's actually you can actually study the archetypes, and you can be an archetype. I don't want to say an archetype healer, but a lot of money coaches do study under Kendall Summerhawk, and Denise TT did the same thing. But archetypes can be things like women can be either romantic. So you would see, you know, women with, you know, floaty dresses, and they'd wear a lot of floral prints and stuff like that. So be very, very romantic. So Rebecca Campbell, if you know who Rebecca Campbell is a complete feminine, right? Feminine romantic. Then you've got someone that is a bit of a maverick, or it could be someone that is gamine as well. So and dramatic. So Madonna. Okay, so Madonna is classed as that because Madonna will switch between different personalities and different looks. You've got like, oh, let's use like Taylor Swift, for example. Taylor Swift would be an archetype of feminine dramatic. So you can be a mix of different archetypes. So archetypes are basically a recurring story pattern. And when you look at Disney do female archetypes or any type of archetype really well. You know, you've got your Cinderella, you've got the evil witch, all of those different things. You see a lot of archetypes in different movies, in different books, in stories and stuff like that. You've got the hero, you've got the villain, you've got the victim, you've got the persecutor. They are different types of archetypes. And if any of you know around the drama triangle, you've got archetypes in there. So you've got victim, you've got persecutor, you've got rescuer. And, you know, sometimes we are an archetype, and then we have the hero story and we change that archetype into somebody else. So, you know, it's quite fascinating around different archetypes. You can Google archetypes, but I have put certain ones in the information. Archetypes was made famous by a psychologist, Carl Jung. Jung, spelled with a J. So there, you know, there's always things like the hero, there's the mentor, there's the trickster, there's all different types of archetypes. So archetypes are very easy to relate to. So sometimes what we do is natural habit, we scan people, 100% we scan people. And unfortunately, we do as natural instinct, okay, it's a survival mechanism. We scan people to see which archetype they fit into, and am I going to fit in with that archetype as well? So you can scan people and you'd be like, okay, you're that type of archetype. Yeah, sorry, not interested. Or you'll be like, oh, and you can sometimes see people in groups like asking certain questions to try and figure out, are you this person? Are you that person? Are you my person? Are you this type of archetype? Am I gonna vibe with you, or am I not gonna vibe with you? And things like that. So it's really interesting when it comes to relationships. So it's being able to relate to someone. It also helps. Archetypes is quite interesting because it also helps you to understand yourself. So, you know, when I've done archetype stuff when in personal styling, it actually helps you to decide, you know, what sort of clothes that person's going to like and things like that. It's really quite important. It also is very important when it comes to your branding of your business as well, how you see that. Because if you go to someone that is a brand specialist and they haven't really worked out your type of archetype for your business, it's going to feel like a mismatch. And when you look at a website or you look at someone, you'll be like, that doesn't sort of meet up. It's weird. Yeah, it just doesn't look authentic as well. So that's basically archetypes. Any questions on that? Has anybody got any idea what sort of archetype they would be? So you'll have things like the healer archetype. You'll have the you can have the healer, you can have the mother archetype, the nurturer archetype. The best person for archetypes is Caroline. Mass, maybe?
Yeah, Caroline Miss.
There you go, Caroline Miss.
She has a deck of them, like you can buy a deck.
Correct. Correct, absolutely. And that's actually quite interesting. I haven't got the deck, but I feel like I might get it. Yes, so yeah, I've got it in my book. So you've got things like advisor, advocate, activist, alchemist, athlete, artist, builder, channel, coach, connector, oh my God, liberator, lover, mystic, magician, and all of that. You can also have negative archetypes, and that's what we're going to clear today is the negative archetypes. And interestingly enough, the ones that I channeled and picked was the slave archetype, the prostitute archetype, yeah, and the bitch archetype. So even just saying those, that bit, when I say the bitch archetype, is like, and it's interesting because, you know, we use the Lucky Bitch app, don't we? And a lot of us say, oh, I really like, not a nice name, not a nice name. And there's actually a Facebook group called Like-Minded Bitches Drinking Wine, right? And Anne actually told me to join that group. She said it was really, really good. I know Lee's part of that group as well. But it took me ages to join that group because I was like, I really don't know if I want to be in I don't know if I want to be in that. Like-minded bitches drinking wine. It sounds like they're going to be really nasty in there. But actually, in that group, it's fascinating. They're so helpful. And I just think, oh, and when I tell people to join it, because it's great for networking and advice, I say, I'm sorry about the name. You know, I really hate the name. I wish they'd change that name because it's nothing like that inside there. So it's really, really interesting. So yeah, so we've got the slave archetype. So where have you been a slave in your life, and where are you a slave to money? So the slave archetype might make individuals, especially women, feel trapped or limited in their potential. So the slave archetype is Cinderella, yeah, prior to meeting her prince. So that is the slave archetype. So she can feel trapped or limited in her potential. This mindset can lead to a lack of confidence and ambition, affecting their pursuit of financial success. So definitely I was a slave archetype, and I felt a real slave to the house and to the family and to the children. And it's like that energy of far out. I'm always the one having to clean the house. I'm always the one that is tidying up. And you can really build a hell of a lot of resentment around this slave archetype, right? If you're actually wanting to heal the slave archetype, obviously I'm going to pull you out from the collective consciousness from it. But if you were working with a client and you wanted to heal the slave archetype, you actually have to heal the support wound. That's what that one is. So the prostitute archetype is obviously it's metaphoric talking. We can contribute to feelings of selling oneself short. Okay, or compromising your values for financial gain. So that can be that you take on clients that you know that aren't going to be a great fit for you for the sake of money. So that's prostituting yourself out, or you're giving away stuff for free. Yeah, I think you get what I mean by that type of thing. And where are you prostituting yourself for money? Yes, Megan.
So would that be the case of, up until this year, I was still doing HR consulting because even though I didn't want to do it, it was a way of getting money in? Is that then thinking, oh, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it because it's money?
What do you feel? Because I think it's personal to you.
Um, I mean, for me, it was just I was always grateful that I can step back into HR because it's a great skill and I get paid well. But it was more like I resented it like in the end, I resented it. So this year I've made,
It probably turned into feeling like that. But at the
yeah,
beginning, because I know at the beginning that you were doing it because you wanted X outcome, and you wanted X outcome. You wanted to improve yourself.
yeah.
It's more around the feeling, are you prostituting yourself? What I
Right.
mean, I think it's more of a
Okay.
feeling,
Okay.
because at the start I wouldn't have said that, because I know you quite well, that it was like that, but in
Yeah.
the end it was getting a bit toxic, wasn't it? And
Well, it
that's
was probably more the slave then at the end than the
right.
prostitute, because I was thinking, oh, yeah, I'll do it. I don't want to. It's not my passion, but I'll do it because it's a way of getting money in. So it
Yeah.
was more, yeah, probably I wasn't really selling my soul in a sense of something I didn't believe in. I was just feeling more, yeah, feels more slavery to it. But yeah, okay. Thanks.
Um, so it's when it starts to impact your self-worth and the value you place on your skills and your contributions. So it could be like not getting that pay rise, not putting your prices up, and stuff like that. It's very individual. And I would say, because I'm a feeler, I think it's more of a feeling it can have on you that is making you feel less than. That's when it hits that. Whereas like prostituting yourself could be, it can be lots of different things. How can I relate it to something else? Where you feel undermined. Yeah, where you feel someone is really taking advantage of you just because of money. Yeah. And then we've got the bitch archetype. So the bitch archetype often perpetuates negative stereotypes about assertive and confident women. This can result in gender bias and professional settings, limiting opportunities for career advancement and financial success. So, everyone has the inner bitch inside them. Absolutely. And it's a protective mechanism as well. But we don't want to be using that archetype when it comes to money and finances. So it could be, you need, say for instance, that you needed something for your health. You needed some naturopathy meds or something like that, right? The bitch archetype can come up, and it can say, well, you don't deserve that, like, I talk a lot about negative Nancy, but just imagine negative Nancy, but being a bitch. Yeah, and we can do that to ourselves. And you can actually see it in other people. And what you might want to be aware of is that sometimes with these archetypes, we might see it in other people, but it's a mirror image of what's going on with you inside. So if you've got someone that's been a real bitch to you, all right, you want to look at where are you being a bitch to yourself as well, because it can be a mirror image as well. So how do you talk to yourself? How do you talk around the bitch around money? I mean, you might be a bitch around your health and your well-being as well. It can cover all aspects. So yeah, we've got the bitch archetype. So obviously we're going to clear the collective consciousness around that. Okay, some other archetypes that are really cool. So we've got the evil queen. We've got the damsel in distress. So the evil queen is a bit like Devil Wears Prada. Mel, is it Mel? Meryl Streep, that's it. The damsel in distress can also be the princess archetype. So the princess archetype is very much, oh, I'm going to have a man come and save me with his big credit card. Yeah. You've got the femme fatale as well, where she uses her seductiveness and that allure of her to manipulate others, especially men. Okay, so you've got the femme fatale. That's very much in that film. Oh God, with Demi Moore and Michael Douglas. I can't remember, where she was the female boss, and actually you had her for sexual harassment. So she was very the femme fatale in that one. You've also got the hysterical woman as well. And a lot of narcissistic men can bring this one up and say that you're being hysterical and stuff like that. It's not nice, actually. You've also got the ice queen, so someone that's very cold. You've also got the nagging wife, and this just made me laugh because this is my dad with my mum. Bless her. So the woman can be overly critical and demanding, and it can come with the idea that women are difficult to please. You've got the gossip as well. That's another negative archetype. You've got the gold digger, and that triggers a lot of men, the gold digger type of archetype of a woman. You've got the man eater, and you've got the doormat as well. So knock yourself out with some of those archetypes in the group. But yeah, we're gonna what came up was that we're gonna get rid of the slave, the prostitute, and the bitch as well, because the bitch archetype can also stop you from progressing. Okay, so the bitch archetype can also stop you from up leveling your learning. The bitch archetype can also stop you actually doing something and saying, no, you need to learn more. You're not good enough yet. You're not good enough to do that. You need to do another course. You need to do this. You need to do that. So the bitch archetype can lock you into staying stuck, because she wants power. She wants power over you. So yeah, you'll see also that bitch archetype in a lot of women that are very alpha female. Yeah, have you? I used to get the odd very strong alpha female hair client. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And what it would do to me, it would push me into being more of the slave and more of the prostitute. Yeah, that bitch archetype, that alpha female bitch archetype. Yeah. Yes, there was some fun learnings in my growth and development. Absolutely. All right. Any questions? You can either pop them in the chat, you can unmute yourself if you don't mind being your voice being on the video. Entirely up to you. If not, we'll get on with the lovely healing. Are we all good? Are we all good to go? Okay, thumbs up. Okay, cool. All right, so close your eyes. Let's get this on. Now, if you, yeah, Lee, you might, I reckon you're going to sage. I reckon you need to sage.
I just went outside because it's just starting to rain, and I needed to ground again just then. I needed to put my feet in the water, I needed that again. Even though I'd been in the ocean this morning, I needed that just then. So
because talking about, those different archetypes can be really triggering. Absolutely, because it can bring up painful memories.
Yeah.
Like I'm not as attached into it, because obviously I've done the channeling of the healing, right? Oh, that's why they made me do it prior, so that I channeled it and cleared myself. Yeah, because the bitch archetype can be really bad for me, like really triggering for me. Yeah, I hate that, because also I was really heavily bullied at school. So, and I have this real and seeing someone else, actually seeing, it brings me to tears, actually seeing someone else bullied is just like, oh, not good for me. Not good for me. I'm like, mama bear, absolute mama bear. Yeah, because I've been in that like very bad bullied situation. Yeah, so I don't like that. So that's why they got me to do that. Thank you. But yes, it could be very triggering. It can be triggering, but it's good because it brings it up, and now we can disperse it. Absolutely.
I think it was just showing me clearly people that are around me at the moment, or have been around me over the last 6 months and things like that, and where I've evolved, or they're not in my life anymore, or that I've got the screen next to me and reading it when you were doing it, and I was like, oh yeah, there's that person. I was like, oh wow.
Right.
Oh wow. And so then I was like, so what is that bringing out me? Are they still in my life? Are they not in my life? And how can I unplug, as you're about to do us?
We're going to unplug you.
Yeah.
And because we're unplugging you from that collective consciousness, it'd be interesting to see who stays around and who goes as well. Absolutely. because it's a bit like, you know, toxic decluttering off your social media and things like that. I was going to say something else as well, because I do feel like some of you have, can I say clingers?
Yes.
Clinger-oners. All I can see is, you know, the movie Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, right? With those clingers onto us. Yeah, so we'll be getting rid of the clingers. You know what I mean? I like to bring a little bit of joy. I like to make you laugh. I was going to say something else as well. And that is, you know, like everything is like perfect and divine timing, right? And I do laugh at when people say, oh, it's all perfect and it's all divine timing. But actually, if I think about, you know, what I get told to do, and we're in that eclipse season, you know, with your boundaries and stuff like that, I think with clearing all of this from everyone, I know it's going to be around, you know, we're centering around money, but actually I think this is going to have a very positive effect on everybody's life moving forward. And next week's one, I've actually channeled next week's, and that's in the portal as well. I'll do the extra healing around that at some step, probably next, not this week because I'm really, really busy. But that one is family constellations we're going to be doing. I'm plugging from family constellations and stuff like that. Yeah, these last two have been a little bit out of the square, but okay, we're doing it. We're doing it. But actually, when I tuned into it, I was like, well, that makes perfect sense, really. Absolutely. So there we go. All right, close your eyes. Let's do this. Okay. All right, just really centering yourself in that big, beautiful heart. That big, beautiful heart. Okay. Just bringing your awareness to yourself, to your thoughts, to your emotions. And I want you to just gently scan your body. So starting at the top of your head, going all the way down, and just bringing awareness to anything that doesn't feel right. And you're going to take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out. And as you breathe, I want you to imagine a beautiful bubble of white light surrounding your body, removing any fear, any worry. And this white light is protecting you from any harm. And as you focus your energy, I want you to visualize the white light entering your body and illuminating your base chakra, illuminating your sacral chakra, illuminating your solar plexus, your heart chakra, your third eye, your throat chakra, your third eye, your crown chakra, and your entire energy body, your entire auric field, and really allow the light to flow freely, cleansing and balancing your energy centers. And once you feel centered and grounded, I invite you to drop into your heart, that big, beautiful heart. Imagine yourself surrounded by the divine light, filled with love, peace, and compassion. And allow this light to flow into every cell and molecule of your being, creating a sense of deep relaxation and tranquility. And we're going to call upon your abundance guides to appear before you now. And this guide is going to support you on your journey towards abundance and prosperity. So take a moment to connect with your guide and feel their loving presence all around you. Remember, you are safe, you're supported, and you are so loved. Take a moment to bask in this feeling of calm and peace, and know you can always return to this space whenever you need to. And this abundance guide, there might be more than one. They explain to you that they're going to unplug you from the collective consciousness of lack, poverty, scarcity, anxiety, and fear around money. And they're going to put their hands in the air and open up a beautiful vortex of light in front of you. And your guide is going to ask you now what you want to disconnect from in the collective consciousness. And you're going to tell your guide what you'd like to work with. And you're going to see the vibration of the vortex change so it can become one with the issue in the collective consciousness you wish to disconnect from. And as you look at your body out into the collective consciousness of this vortex and this problem, this issue, you're going to see, sense, feel, know, listen with your whole being. You're going to see the beliefs, all the energies, all the attachments, all the hooks, the cords that are coming from the collective consciousness directly into you. And when you're ready, you're going to allow your guide to disconnect you and the collective consciousness of this issue forever. All energies, hooks, cords, psychic attacks, energy systems and paradigms which belong into that negative collective consciousness are removed permanently. You feel relieved. It's so simple. But sometimes the simple things are the most powerful. Now you're going to see that vortex start to discreate. It's going to spin in an anti-clockwise way. And as it spins in an anti-clockwise way, it's going to be taken into the distance and into the white light of the divine. Okay. And you're going to see your beautiful guide or guides kneeling in front of you now. And they're going to shine a deep golden light into you. And it's going to repair all the damage done by the collective consciousness's beliefs, emotions, traumas, and paradigms. You're going to feel your body now start to open to the truth of who you are and that ultimate power within you and your body. And you know that you are the creator of your new beliefs and your new paradigms, that you're superhuman and that you have extraordinary gifts and talents, and you can create abundance and prosperity no matter what. You are strong enough, it is possible, and you know what to do and how to claim abundance now. Okay, so the next stage is we're going to unplug from the collective consciousness of the negative female archetypes. So it's now time to heal this connection so that you can start to step into yourself instead of living in the old stories on that negative level of the collective consciousness. As you feel your body is open to the truth and that you hold that power within yourself, you can create new beliefs, new paradigms with your gifts and abilities. You are strong enough to achieve all that you desire, and it is possible to do so. So we're going to disconnect from the negative archetypes, the stories that are prevalent in that collective consciousness of the archetypes. And by doing so, you can start to embrace your true self and live your own life on your terms, free from the limitations imposed by those collective consciousness, those archetypes. And I want you to allow that divine light to light your heart up like a star. And you see that there are 3 archetypes in front of you in a rainbow. The first is the bitch archetype. The second is the prostitute. And the third is the servant. Okay, and if you connect with your emotional and spiritual energy and these archetypes that resonate within you, I want you to acknowledge and embrace the part of you with immense power and potential. Tell it that you love it and you recognize its strength to create abundance, and it has all the necessary elements for growth. and the evolution of the soul. And it's already there within your heart and soul. That it possesses its own internal power and has the right to distance itself from those archetypes or those people who doubt your abilities. If anyone thinks that you or it can't succeed, we're going to confidently say that they were wrong. I want you to remind this part of you that any beliefs, emotions, projections others may have imposed on you that do not belong to you to be released, and that it should return all of that to those individuals or the collective consciousness. And now you refrain from accepting it. You are not a statistic in that collective consciousness, and you're not in a state of lack. Reminding you that you are divine light and abundance is your birthright. You are a unique individual who can uplift humanity by recognizing that abundance comes from wholeness, and you're not tied to those external beliefs of those archetypes. So give back all the negative thoughts and emotions and embrace the abundance that's rightfully yours. And wherever you took on those archetypes because of the wound, I want you to tell that wounded part that you're here for them, that you will protect and care for them and only seek help and advice from those who believe in you. And that wounded part, you're going to cut cords to those archetypes from the collective consciousness. And you're going to decree that any of that trauma that ever occurred, any of that pain, any pain stamps, any soul wounds, anything that is hooked in those archetypes, those negative archetypes. Okay, we're going to realize that it's never occurred. We're going to allow it to go. And along with that wounded part, we're going to ask if you would like to go into the heart of yourself, all healed, or whether you go into the heart of the divine. Whatever you see, sense, feel, or know. So some of you are going to experience like this shadow now walking into the light. And some of you are just going to really love yourself and take care of yourself, nurture yourself. So whatever you feel is right for you. And then we're going to allow a fantastic team to support you, to be around you. Whether it's a beautiful team of mentor, coaches, financial supporters, healers, a new spiritual support team. It's going to help you remove any financial blocks and provide you with guidance, clarity, and soul growth. And the last thing we're going to do, because sometimes we hold on to those archetypes, is because of karma. And when you feel ready, I want you to imagine that you're returning into that white light of the divine. Visualize a shower of golden light washing over you to assist you in clearing karma. And I want you to wash in that golden light as we declare that we should bring the lords and ladies of karma of 100% loving light. And we ask that it would be appreciated if the lords and ladies of karma cleared all karma that you have across all levels, times, planes, religions, dimensions, and expressions of your body, mind, soul, and your multidimensional being. This is to be cleared under the law of grace Thank you is done, is done, is done. Please show me. So some of you are going to feel like stuff's starting to be lifted off you. Some of you, it's going to be like, it feels like post-it notes or tickets. Okay, so actually it's like contracts just being all flung off you. So all these contracts for repaying karma. So it's declared and requested that all karmic lessons learned through the law of cause and effect and punishment be upgraded to the laws of grace and compassion. Thank you is done, is done, is done. Show me. So you might see, sense, feel, or know this beautiful pink mist all around you, which is the law of compassion. So where those old contracts were is just going to be replaced with all this beautiful compassion. Please ensure that all your knowledge, your information and wisdom are updated and kept in your soul records. Allow the harmonious release of all non-beneficial energies. Ensure that all karmic lessons are completed and all karmic debts are repaid. Okay, so there's just going to be a big change. Just breathe, allow. I want you to feel like you're connecting in with the universe. Feel it's updating your soul contracts. Anything that's preventing or stuck in your physical, emotional, mental bodies. It's calming those, cleansing those, healing those, repairing. And anywhere where it's in your causal body. So you might feel stuff going on in the back of your head. And visualize your light and energy bodies being upgraded now, along with your relationships, along with your finances, along with your physical body, along with your health, along with your overall well-being, and being able to resonate and vibrate with these new aligned frequencies. Now you might see, sense, feel, or know the lords and ladies of karma walking around you. They do like to chant as they walk around you. It's quite sacred, the work that they do. So like they're chanting and they're when they chant, it's like they are rewriting, clearing, cleansing. We're just allowing them to do that for you now. Just going to allow them the space and time to do that. Some of you might experience like lots of beams of light all around the lords and ladies of karma. It's just this beautiful white dragon coming in actually as I'm witnessing that. And they're weaving their way through the lords and ladies of karma, just bringing in a higher dimensional light all around you. So you're like in the middle. The lords and ladies of karma are walking all around, chanting, and these beams of white light are sort of above their head. And then this like white dragon is just, imagine like a Chinese dragon, you know, how they dance in that parade is like that all around you. So it's just changing all the energy around you. So we're just going to allow space for it to happen. Okay, so they're just working through your Akashic record books now. And now all the beautiful activations are happening. Okay, so new codes of light are coming in. There's lots of compassion all around you now. And I just want you to tap into the energy of blessings. So I really want you to connect in with that blessing feeling. And all your cells, your atoms, your molecules now are just rapidly, you're having like a cellular turnover. So just allow that if you wish. So all these little tiny cords are just releasing out of those cells in your body. And then that you'll have like a DNA activation along with that. And just going back to your original blueprint from source. And that's just working in your master cell within your heart. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths, and everything is done with grace and ease in the most loving, gentle, easiest way that's at the right time for you. I want you to rinse off in that beautiful golden and white light. And you're going to see it like two different spirals coming around you like a figure of 8. So golden white light, washing, rinsing, cleansing, clearing. When you're ready, you're going to come back through the heart of the universe, the heart of the multiverse, into your big, beautiful heart, into your body, into your physical body. Imagine that white light, that bubble of white light is still around you, protecting you. That white light can stay around you for as long as you like. I want you to rub your feet on the ground, start to ground yourself back into your body. Okay, scan your body again. So starting at the top of the head, going all the way down to your feet. See, sense, feel, know, listen to your body. How does it feel? Connecting in. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take a nice big stretch. Really move your body. Have a wiggle. And then open your eyes. Ooh.